The Kenya Kwanza government is a theater of seekers. And when you think you've had just enough of them, with each passing day, you wake up to very startling news headlines. Now, just today, I was reading somewhere that the Mount Kenya fraternity is ganging up to impeach William Samoei Ruto. And before we fathom what exactly is happening, KTN has run some news headline that really shocked many Kenyans. It is being reported that the relationship between Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and his boss, William Samoei Ruto, has reached an irreconcilable situation. They don't see eye to eye. Behind the beautiful facade and the smiling faces that they give us, it is over. It is a marriage that is over. It is like a husband and a wife living in the same room, but they don't talk. The wife cannot cook. They don't sleep on the same bed. Now, KTN is revealing of a clandestine meeting that was held. And in that meeting, a plan was hatched to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. And the grounds of impeachment is that Rigathi Gachagua does not respect his boss. And they are lining up, among other things, that Rigathi Gachagua openly opposed the Finance Bill 2023. And they are saying, the drafters of this bill, a vote of no confidence, that Rigathi Gachagua went and held some meetings with the Nyamakima group of businessmen who largely come from Mount Kenya region, and he incited them against the government. It is also said that he incited the avocado farmers after they had passed the Finance Bill 2023 that contained taxes that were affecting them directly. Remember when the KRA officials went to train them on how to use the e-teams, and they were chased. Now, sources are saying that Rigathi Gachagua was directly involved. And with this, they are saying that Rigathi Gachagua does not fit to become the deputy president of Kenya, because in essence, he is supposed to be the chief principal assistant of the president. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to understand how bitter the relationship between the two is, I want us to listen to Rigathi Gachagua's mouthpiece, the Nyeri governor Mutahi Kahiga, and read between the lines as he speaks. With the anger, look at the countenance in the face, because he summarizes what he feels or how he feels that Rigathi Gachagua is being undermined. Because Mount Kenya feels that Rigathi Gachagua is not respected, but those who are around William Samoei Ruto also feels that it is Rigathi Gachagua who does not respect the boss. Kindly take a look or listen to Mutahi Kahiga.
Lakini niambie, unawezaje kushikilia your boss anakuambia leo enda useme Uhuru ni mbaya? Mnakumbuka ile statement ilikuwa kule wakiingia, akasema wewe Uhuru ulitukosea, hiyo mambo ikaisha. Tukatoka hapo, akamwambia ongea juu ya shareholding, akaenda Kisumu akamuita primitive. Kuita Rigathi primitive ni sisi unaita primitive, sababu sisi ni mtoto wetu. Tulipotoka hapo, juzi akamwambia Raila hata ingia State House, weka mitego. Hiyo mitego imefika wapi? Ni amenyilio na akeigerio. Alafu mnakuja kutuambia ati tukae hivi, ati weka mitego. Ni rais alimwambia weka mitego, Raila hata ingia. Leo Raila darakoma bedroom. Alafu mnakuja kutuambia nini? What are you telling us? Kama rais anakumbuka yeye ndiye aliingia hapa na Bwana asifiwe, hata sasa aendelee kusema Bwana asifiwe na ioneke.
You know, if you ask me, I don't have any sympathy for either President William Samoei Ruto or Rigathi Gachagua, because they chose themselves and they were very much bragging that they had a plan for the country. They promised us that they would not have time for wrangles. They wanted to work for Kenyans. But I want us to listen to this summary by KTN, how they revealed to us just what happened between the two leaders.
Now, in our top story, Plans to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua are already in the offing, with sources privy to the plan confirming that the latest meeting was held last week. According to the petition seen by KTN News, the Deputy President is accused of undermining the President by opposing some of the decisions made by the executive and holding him hostage. And as our senior political affairs reporter, Chris Thairu, explains, signatures are already being collected, and the plan is to table the motion in Parliament soon after the vetting and approval of the nominees for the position of the Cabinet Secretaries.
For close to 6 months now, the relationship between President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua has been frosty, often differing in various decisions making by the executive, the latest one being the controversial finance bill and members of the opposition joining government. KTN News can now authoritatively confirm that there have been meetings planned by anti-Gachagua leaders to impeach him. According to the petition, the deputy president is being accused of being irresponsible, blackmailing the president and holding him hostage. He has incited his natives to believe taxation is only meant for them and not for the whole country, opposed to taxation and rejected the finance bill in the cabinet, a move that left the government with an egg on the face. He held a meeting with disgruntled avocado farmers and the Nyamakema traders at his current residence on diverse dates, where he ordered KRA to revert taxes from 3 million shillings back to 2.5 million shillings. He's also been accused of insubordination.
Sasa jameni, sisi wa Kikuyu, ni nani alituroga? Serikali tumeingia hata miaka 2 haijakwisha. Tumepewa serikali huko juu tuko. Na kama tumeshindwa na kazi, tusiingilie rais, tuende tuulize viongozi wetu kwa nini kazi haifanyiki.
Na pia tunaomba rais na naibu wake pia mtuheshimu. Hatuwezi kukubali mtu anakuja anataka kufinya viongozi wadogo.
He opposed the demolition of houses along Nairobi River, which is his mandate under the executive order of 2023, forcing the transfer of the mandate to head of public service Felix Kosgei. His shareholders' remarks, where he demands 47% of the shares, betraying the tenets of presidency, which is a uniting factor.
Wale wengine viongozi wa serikali na wameshaguliwa na wako na vio vya juu, na tunawajua kwa majina na tunawajua kwa mienendo yao, na usiku ndio wanaakisha moto, wanaakishia rais moto usiku. Mchana wanaongea wako pamoja na rais, lakini usiku ndio watu wa kuunganisha Wakikuyu wengine na jamii ya Mount Kenya kuelezea vile tumefinywa.
By now you all know that push has come to shove and it is over. Whether you like it or not, this marriage is over. And it is very funny because when Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto clashed and they decided to end their marriage, it was in their second term. At least they tolerated each other for their first term. They worked well. William Ruto was over the moon. He was the commander. But now, Ruto and his friend are beginning to divorce just in their first term. This is less than 2 years because we are in the very final stages and we are getting into August. After August, that will be 2 years. You cannot imagine that the people who promised that they would be working hard to change the economy of our country are now fighting each other. And then maybe let me just ask you, because as I said from where I sit, I don't care. I don't care about Rigathi Gachagua. I don't care about William Ruto, because we've been told that William Ruto was given Kithure Kindiki to be his running mate. But for some reasons, he decided to pick Rigathi Gachagua. So I don't care. But then let me ask you, who is right or who is fooling who? Rigathi says he's being undermined. And in fact, if you listen to Mutahi Kahiga, Mutahi is saying that all those things that Rigathi Gachagua was saying about shareholders, about Raila should not see State House, he is telling us that it is William Samoei Ruto who sent his deputy to say so. But is Rigathi confirming that he is not so careful? I don't want to call him names. Is he telling us that he's being controlled like a puppet? Because as a leader, he should have noticed that William Ruto was using him. I kept on making noise in this channel that William Ruto had given Rigathi Gachagua poisoned chalice. He was destroying Rigathi Gachagua. He first wanted him to be separated from his people when he tried to go to certain levels, interfering with those Uru's businesses, with their mother and all that, instead of protecting their son. He is realizing that it is too late when he's begging for forgiveness. Then he set him up against the Luos when he was confronting Raila Amolo Odinga, that if you dare go to the streets, I will deal with you. He did that with Kalonzo. And so Rigathi Gachagua was isolated. And if you've seen of late, Rigathi Gachagua is now playing village politics, if you ask me, because he's more into Mount Kenya, even though he says that every politics is local, which I agree. But even as you try to play local politics, you need to expand and extend an olive branch even to the other communities. Who is right? Just like I was asking, who is right? Rigathi says it's disrespected because people like Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Chungwa were placed to according to him, to disrespect him. But William Ruto says, this is my assistant, but he disrespects me. So what is the meaning of disrespect? And I think the worst came when William Ruto told us that on the day that Gen Zs got entry into parliament, someone sponsored many of them. And there is this rumor that many of them were ferried from Mount Kenya to occupy State House, to occupy parliament, so that William Ruto would be ousted in a revolution and then his deputy would take. Wanawindana, there is no trust in this marriage. And I think the best thing to do is to call this marriage off. Call it off. The next question, this is going to open a Pandora's box. Who becomes the deputy president? Because this is happening at a time when William Ruto has taken in 4 of the ODM official politicians, senior members of the ODM, 2 deputy party leaders, chairperson, and a minority leader, and he has incorporated them into the government. While Raila still maintains that he's not in government, the truth is he is in government. And I believe that the drafters of this impeachment motion are counting on the support of the ODM. Because if that motion comes to parliament, I can assure you that the ODM members are going to vote together with the pro-Ruto MPs. Kalonzo might not, because I understand that Kalonzo, together with Rigathi Gachagua, people are also teaming up their political realignments. So the question is William Ruto going to pick someone from ODM as a deputy? Because the way he has taken some of them into government, there seems to be a blissful marriage now between ODM and part of the UDA wing that supports William Ruto. So is he going to pick someone from the ODM? Because even in the past, people have been saying that William Ruto wanted to pick Nyawangaya, Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay, to be his running mate in 2027. Is he going to actualize that even before 2027? Or is he going to pick someone now from Mount Kenya? Should it succeed? Because do you think they can get the numbers? I believe they can. Because Rigathi Gachagua is someone who has set on people's toes. He's never careful. When he started, he was full of himself and he was chest thumping. The question was, Gen Zs were asked, if William Ruto goes, then what? And you've seen people say that between William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, if you are given the 2 devils, who can you choose? And many people are saying that we better remain with William Ruto than Rigathi Gachagua. This is a supremacy battle, and we are not going to get into it. We wait and see what is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. If you were told to choose between Rigathi being ousted on a vote of no confidence or voting for him to remain, what would you do? It has just begun, ladies and gentlemen. The duo bragged that they wanted to take this country to another level, but their marriage has been rocked by suspicion and supremacy. No one wants to listen to the other. They made their bed. If you ask me, they have to lie on it. Kenyans are not going to get into this, because someone will also tell you that maybe these are theatrics, these are sideshows to make sure that we forget about the elephant in the room, corruption and wastage. Gen Zs are saying William Ruto must go. Maybe they are bringing this so that we can start discussing the Gachagua impeachment motion. But things are getting thicker. On whose side are you? I know many will say, let us stick with the Gen Z. Let's kick away all these people because they are the same. If you ask me, they are the same. William Ruto, Mudavadi, Raila Amolo Odinga, Kalonzo, Wetangula, Gachagua, all this political class, they are the same thing. They never think of us. We become second. We play second fiddle to them. As to whether Rigathi is impeached or not, as I said, we don't care. We were not part of this marriage, and I don't want to be part of the divorce.